Hey guys, it's Rachel. It's Thursday. I'm sorry that I'm just in like a hoodie and stuff. I actually completely forgot that I needed to make my video. I've had quite a lot of stuff going on, so I'm sorry if this is going up a little bit late. This week we're back to the rota which I'd done, and we had one more week to cover, and then Jen has done us a new rota starting next week. So this week we are continuing with what I was kind of doing. And basically today I wanted to look at distorted perceptions of your body and personality within the eating disorder. Common thoughts with this are about, what you think of yourself, that distorted perception of yourself. The distorted perception of yourself can cover body image, how you judge yourself, how you critique yourself. These aren't just connected to your body, they're connected to your personality, to how you see the world, how you believe others see you, thinking that other people are better than you, thinner than you, smarter than you, are better at sport than you, are a better friend than you, or you see them perhaps as being a better person, a more successful person, a more recovered person, a more inspirational person, a stronger person, all of those attributes that you can't give yourself. So what you're doing is ultimately you're basically putting yourself down, and you might not be doing that in a really obvious way, okay? So you might not always have negative thoughts about yourself, but you're never feeling good about what you do. So whenever you do something that is incredibly remarkable or shows a degree of generosity or kindness, or you achieve in some way or another, and I'm not going to say achievement necessarily academically or in sport. An achievement can be anything. It can be me getting up this video before sort of Friday. Any kind of achievement, it can be the smallest thing, and hopefully this little munchkin isn't going to irritate me. It can be anything you feel you want to do, and it's never good enough. So even people criticize themselves, I feel a lot, in terms of thinking that they're a bad friend. I hear that an awful lot. I hear I'm a bad girlfriend, I'm a bad daughter, I'm a bad sister, I'm a bad brother, I'm a bad boyfriend, a whole range of things. I don't deserve the girlfriend I have. I don't deserve to have a mum who's the way she is. I don't deserve to have the friends that I do. My friends always do all this for me, and I don't do anything for them. All these things are distortions, and they are, I'm going to say, predominantly distortions in how in the personality we feel we have. Of course, those distortions extend to our body. We think we're too much, too fat. This part isn't good enough. This part isn't good enough. We haven't lost enough weight. Gaining weight is a bad thing. Being healthy weight isn't okay. Being my size isn't acceptable. I can't, what I see in the mirror, I can't stand. I should look like this. I should look like this. This person looks better than me. This person is thinner than me. This person has nicer hair than me. This person has clearer skin than me. And it goes on and on and on. And I could extend on that. And what I want to kind of do now is give you some examples of what distorted thinking can be. And those include black and white thinking, self-blame, you taking responsibility for things and not putting it on other people, self-blame, and incredibly negative thinking. So black and white thinking is all or nothing thinking, and it's something that within eating disorders is incredibly common, and that is the all or nothing. There is no in between. So you might have a behaviour such as binging, and then you have the extreme of that behaviour, which is restriction. So they're on a continuum, but you're only ever on one end of them. So you're either binging or you're restricting, or you're binging or you're restricting, and there's nothing in the middle of that. There's no balance to that. So not only are your behaviours incredibly black and white, your thinking then becomes black and white. You know, you might transfer that onto another behaviour. So you're either always drinking or you don't drink at all. You can't find that balance in the middle. It could be that you either go out or you don't go out at all. There's nothing in the middle. It could be that you feel completely useless, or they're just extremes. Black and white thinking is extremes, and therefore creates distortions. So if your behaviours are extreme, there's something there in the thought pattern. So you cannot think for yourself, I need to try and eat X, Y and Z. It's all or nothing. Okay, and so anything you carry out will be all or nothing. Your thinking becomes you're only able to think in extremes. You're not able to think of that middle ground at all. And so when you're feeling bad about yourself, you're feeling that to an even more of an extreme. You're not just feeling a little bit bad about yourself, you're feeling an extreme of bad about yourself. Okay, so in that becomes a lot of personalizing, and you feel that if anything happens, it's all your fault. So you can't distribute blame appropriately. So something happens, a situation happens, we've just had Christmas, we've just had New Year, there is a problem that has gone on because you've reacted to a certain situation, maybe when family have been around and you've been a bit more stressed. You can't look at the other person's behaviour, you simply blame yourself. Everything is your fault. So this incident happens, you take yourself off, and you sit down and all your thoughts are, well, if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't done this, I must be the bad person, I must be the person who does everything wrong, I must be the person who can't see this situation for what it was, I must be the person who caused this situation, I must be the person who needs blaming for this situation. You give yourself an unfair burden. That's what I've written down here, unfair burdens of control. So you're taking responsibility for everybody around you. You're saying, I am the worst daughter, I am the problem in the family, I'm the one with this eating disorder, and I am the bad person because of this. I make everybody's life more difficult. I am. And whilst there is a degree of sense in some of that an eating disorder and other mental health problems does cause distress for those around us, we cannot be made accountable for every single thing that occurs. And any interaction we have with another person, although you may take a degree of responsibility because you can reflect and say, well, because of my eating disorder behaviours, my self-esteem is incredibly low. I'm therefore feeling quite kind of possessive and clingy to, I don't know, my girlfriend, boyfriend. I'm struggling when they go out. I tend to go in a mood if they do that. And whilst you can own that, there is also some responsibility that the other person can take. And whilst the other person may actually not do anything wrong, that can sometimes happen in relationships. There will at some point be a communication error. And that's obviously, that's happened with me, with my mum, with my girlfriend, with whatever. And the other person may take, let's say you've got somebody who is really struggling, a lot of what had happened could be 75% them, because they are having distorted thoughts about a situation, about how other people are seeing them. They're blaming themselves for it. But if then a conflict arises because of that, the other person has to take some responsibility for that. So in an example, say with my mum, where she has tried to encourage me to eat, but it's been maybe in front of other people, and I've felt embarrassed about it, and so it has upset me, and I've come upstairs and I've slammed my bedroom door and I've not wanted to talk to anybody, and I've been incredibly distressed. My mum then maybe comes upstairs, tries to amend the situation. I fly off the handle, she flies off the handle, and this is how difficulties can escalate, because if we're taking all of something and reacting to it in this whole way, there is going to be conflict at some point. It's very, very difficult for for something to have happened, and even if that was your responsibility, for there not to have been a kickback of that, because we are all human and we all have emotions. And if we're taking all the responsibility for everything that's happened, we're going to build up a degree of resentment as well, and that resentment's going to come out at some point. So I might carry all of that responsibility with my mum, for example, and I'm just using like sort of what happened sort of maybe 6-7 years ago. I might carry that, but then I might resent her for that as well, and I might be pissed off that I've been carrying all of this, and that, you know, I've been blaming myself for all of this, and why couldn't they look at themselves? And you put those expectations on yourself that it is all of your fault, and it does build up resentment, because not everything is your fault. But even if it was all your fault, you're still going to resent the people around you, because you want them to take some sort of responsibility. And in these whole perceptions of your body and your personality, and what you think of yourself, in this distorted sense of self, this distorted view of yourself, which then leaves you thinking that other people have this view of yourself, that causes conflict. You are automatically assuming that somebody else is thinking the same things that you're thinking. So if you're thinking that you're a bad person who only hurts people, you're assuming that other people are only thinking that, and that's going to cause problems in your relationships. And that's where these distortions are so difficult. And when they come onto your body, you're setting yourself into a situation whereby nothing is ever going to be good enough either, and you're gonna blame yourself for a situation whereby, say, maybe you ate something and you might be like, God, I'm so crap, why did I have to eat that? I just can't control myself, I can't control my hunger, I can't control this need to sort of feed myself when all I want to be is thinner. And you just give yourself not only external conflict but internal conflict. And it's kind of like, whilst you are in this black and white place with this distorted thinking, with all this self-blame, with all this personalisation, nothing that you personally do, nothing you personally achieve, nothing that goes on with your body is ever going to be good enough. So this kind of statement that my life will be better and I will be happy when X, Y and Z, quite commonly when I lose weight, when I achieve this grade, when I look a certain way, when I do this, when I can do that, that is going to be the only time nothing's ever going to be good enough, because that statement is, it will be better when. You're not thinking, well, actually, what can I do today that improves how I feel about myself right today? Okay, I might still have the thought, my life will be better and I will be happy when, and a list of kind of quite difficult things. So high expectations on yourself. My life will be better when I've achieved A's in all my A levels. My life will be better when I look like so and so. My life will be better when I weigh X amount. My life will be better when I wear these clothes. My life will be better when I have this, that and the other. And what you find that I do now is that I say, my life will be better and I'll be happy when I find the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, when I'm finally able to be in a job that I love, when I'm able to provide for people in my family the way they've provided for me, and to do things which are enhancing my recovery or giving to my recovery every day. And that's where you need to start. You need to step outside of this, you know, and all these expectations which you're never going to meet, and all these goals, all these weight goals that are not going to achieve anything, because when you get to them you'll still feel like crap, and then you'll get to the next one. And it's not just with weight, it's with grades, it's with achievements in sport. If you don't feel good enough now, you're never going to feel good enough. And I feel good enough now, okay, I feel good enough. So all those things, all the goals I have for my life are only going to enhance that happiness. Does that make sense? Like, so I'm saying that if you're not feeling good enough now, nothing you set yourself to do will make you feel good enough, unless you're sitting here and saying, okay, I might not feel completely good enough right now, but something I've always dreamt of doing is graduating from university. Right, what small steps can I take to get myself to that point? Can I do a course which is one evening a week for 2 hours? Can I then build that up, and then over the course of 4 months say, right, I'd like to maybe be doing that twice a week, and you build, maybe throw some volunteer work in there to you achieving your goal. And that's ultimately what that's about. It's about finding the passions, finding the things that make you happy. I'm going to curb this in now, guys, because I've kind of gone on for a long time, and I hope I've made some sense, and I will see all of you next week. Okay, bye guys, bye.